My friends, I want to tell you a story. It is not about the past. It is about the future. It is about the year 2026. It is about a conversation between me, Barack Obama, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It was not a conversation for the cameras. It was not meant for headlines. It was a conversation about destiny, about power, about the deal that could shape the balance of the 21st century. And I want to speak to you directly as if we are sitting together right now, because the world needs to understand why this deal mattered, why it was made, and why India stands at the center of it. When I sat with Prime Minister India's Global Rise Modi, he spoke with clarity and conviction. He told me, Barack, India has everything it needs to lead. Number one, we have the people over 1 billion strong with the energy of youth and the wisdom of tradition. Number two, we have an economy that is not slowing down, but accelerating faster than almost any other nation. Number three, we have weapons, the strength to defend ourselves, and the innovation to build even stronger tools of defense. Number four, we have artificial intelligence, technology that is reshaping the future, and we are ready to shape it ourselves. Number five, we have something that Obama's perspective cannot be measured in numbers alone. We have spirit, courage, and the determination to rise. And he paused and then he said, but what India needs is recognition. What India needs is trust. What India needs is a deal that tells the world India will not just rise, India will lead. I listened carefully because I had seen India's rise with my own eyes. As President of the United States, I had visited India. I had walked among its people, and I had felt the energy that comes from 1 billion dreams. I knew that what Modi said was not an exaggeration. It was the truth. And I also knew hidden strategic plans, something else. The world was at a crossroads. Technology was moving faster than governments. Weapons were spreading faster than treaties. Nations like China were rising with aggression. Nations like Pakistan were fueling instability. And the global order we had built after the Second World War was no longer secure. In that world, India was not just important. India was essential. So why could I make this agreement? Why could I, Barack Obama, sit with Modi and say yes to a superpower deal? Because I understood three simple truths. Number one, without India, Asia, US and India relations cannot be stable. Number two, without India, democracy in the East cannot be strong. Number three, without India, the world cannot be balanced. That was the reality I saw as president, and it is the reality that shaped this hidden agreement. Now let me tell you why this deal was needed. The deal was needed because the 21st century is not just about armies and borders. It is about information, intelligence, and innovation. Whoever leads in artificial intelligence, in cyber power, in advanced defense, will lead the world. China wanted that leadership. Russia wanted that control. Pakistan wanted to disrupt. But India was the nation power shifts, explained, that had the people, the democracy, and the vision to lead responsibly. That is why the world needed this deal. That is why 2026 became the year to secure it. So what was the deal? It was not about a piece of paper. It was not about signature. It was about trust. It was about two leaders saying to each other, the world must change, and we must change it together. The deal was that India would stand at the center of global strategy. The deal was that the United States would support India with technology, with defense, with intelligence. The deal was that together we would shape the rules of the new world order. Not China, not Russia, not those who do not respect freedom. This was not charity. This was not politics. This was partnership. And it was built on one belief. If India rises, the world rises. Now let us talk about why India is supreme. The reasons are clear. Leadership lessons. First, the people. Over 1.4 billion citizens, more young people than any other nation. Young men and women, ready to code, to build, to create, to dream. No nation can match that human energy. Second, the economy. India is not just growing, it is leading. By 2026, India is shaping markets, fueling global growth, and proving that democracy can deliver prosperity. Third, weapons and defense. India is no longer dependent. India builds its own systems, protects its own borders, and shows the world that it cannot be bullied. Fourth, technology and AI, from Bengaluru to Hyderabad. Indian engineers are not just writing code, they are writing the future in numbers. One can see it clearly. Billion people, 7 million engineers, hundreds of new startups each year, and trillions added to the economy. No other motivation and future vision nation combines that scale with that speed. And fifth, the spirit of India. This cannot be measured. but it can be felt. The spirit of democracy, the spirit of freedom, the spirit of a nation that has faced centuries of struggle and still stands tall. That is why I told Modi, if the 20th century was America's century, the 21st century may very well be India. And that is why he told me, Barack, we are ready. But let me be honest with you. This deal was not only about dreams, it was about dangers, because the threats were real. China was expanding its reach, building bases, pushing its power. Pakistan was provoking, fueling instability at every chance. Artificial intelligence was being developed in places where human rights were not respected. Without India stepping forward, without India taking the lead, the world risked being shaped by powers that do not share our value. That is why this deal was urgent. That, what it means for the world, is why 2026 became the turning point. Modi's role in all this was vital. He was not asking for favors. He was not asking for handouts. He was asking for recognition. He told me India does not need anyone to give us power. India already has power. What we need is for the world to see it. And I agree, because when India speaks, the world should listen. When India acts, the world should notice. And when India leads, the world should follow. So what does 2026 look like with this superpower deal in play? It looks like India standing as the central pillar of global democracy. It looks like India leading an artificial intelligence, not for domination, but for humanity. It looks like India defending its borders with confidence and commanding respect across Asia. It looks like India's economy not just fueling jobs for its own people, but growth for the entire Final Thoughts planet. It looks like a generation of young Indians stepping forward, not just as workers, but as leaders. And it looks like a world where the balance of power is not tilted toward aggression, but toward freedom. When the history of the 21st century is written, India will not be a footnote. India will not be a chapter. India will be the headline. That is what I told Modi. That is what Modi told me.